Most men live in a state of permanent psychological dependency. They walk into rooms begging for permission, looking at the eyes of the crowd to tell them what they are worth. They have spent their entire lives training to be weak, soft, and predictable. And the moment the storm hits, the moment they step into a boardroom of wolves or face a real threat, their fragile illusion of security collapses, because no one is coming to save your weakness. The arena of life does not respect beggars, it respects leverage. If you require the validation of the crowd to feel powerful, you have handed them the exact rope they will use to hang you. If you want to survive the next 40 winters, you must destroy the need to be liked. You must kill the loud, desperate boy inside you and wake up the silent, calculating sovereign. Welcome to the dead man strategy, unbreakable confidence, absolute mental camouflage. This is Midu Kayz segment 1. The will to sovereignty, the silent anchor. True confidence is never an aggressive display. The world tells you that confidence is about being the loudest person in the room, shouting your achievements, flashing your resources, and forcing everyone to look at your crown. That is not power. That is a loud signature of deep psychological insecurity. Niccolò Machiavelli warned us that the leader who builds his power on the applause of the crowd builds his house on sand. The exact same crowd that cheers for your arrival today will gladly watch your execution tomorrow if the wind changes. A Sigma mind does not stake his survival on the unstable emotions of the herd. Look at the masters of strategy throughout history. The men who held absolute power were never the ones wearing the heaviest gold into the marketplace. They were the ones who looked completely average on the outside while holding the final veto power over the entire territory from the shadows. Sun Tzu wrote in The Art of War, "All warfare is based on deception. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away." Apply this law to your workspace and your life right now. The moment you get a small win, a financial spike, or a piece of valuable knowledge, the weak side of your brain screams at you to boast. You want your peers to know you are rising. You want the people near you to see your status. By doing this, you activate immediate human envy. You alert the predators. You tell the boardroom exactly where your leverage is, which allows them to calculate exactly how to compromise you. Unbreakable confidence begins when you no longer need a single soul to know how powerful you are. You walk into the environment completely detached. You let them look down on you. You let them believe you are average. The lower their estimate of you, the larger your operational space. Your confidence is not anchored in what they see. It is anchored in the unshakable certainty of what you know you possess inside your mind. Segment 2. The mask and the sword, the architecture of a tactical silence. The mandate of the shadow. Revelation is vulnerability. If they know what you value, they know how to compromise you. If they know what you fear, they know how to rout you. A sovereign mind operates like a ghost, visible to the eye, but completely unreadable to the system. To survive in an arena filled with predators, you must master the duality of power, the mask and the sword. Most men fail because they wear their sword in plain sight and hide their face behind a fragile lie. They want everyone to know they are dangerous, but their emotions are completely exposed. When they are insulted, their face reddens. When they get a small financial win, their chest puffs out. They are an open book, easily read and easily manipulated by anyone with basic psychological data. The strategist flips the script. You wear a completely average, predictable mask to satisfy the crowd, while your sword remains entirely hidden beneath your coat. This is what Friedrich Nietzsche meant when he noted that the highest individuals must wear a mask to protect themselves from the superficial gaze of the herd. Your mask is your daily persona, the polite, hard-working, unremarkable worker or peer. You do not argue. You do not attempt to look like the smartest man in the room. You let them believe they have you figured out. Why? Because a man who thinks he has already won against you will never look for your hidden blade. Black Pawn, the Sun, Zoo Principle, Intellectual Embargo. In the art of war, the ultimate victory is not winning 1,000 battles. It is breaking the enemy's resistance without ever firing a single shot. You achieve this by enforcing a strict intellectual embargo on your life. Look around your immediate environment right now. The people sitting near you, the colleagues at your workplace, the friends who follow your digital footprints. They are constantly fishing for information. They ask casual questions to test your boundaries, to locate your ambitions, and to see what drives you. The weak man treats conversation as an opportunity to display his intellect. He spills his plans, his targets, and his deep strategies just to hear himself sound important. The sovereign master treats conversation as an extraction zone. You say very little, you ask deliberate questions, and you let the other party fill the silence with their own data. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it is a tactical defensive fortification. When you refuse to react to their provocations, you deny them the feedback loop they need to calculate your weaknesses. Your lack of reaction drives them mad because they cannot map your terrain. They cannot tell if you are broke or wealthy, terrified or completely fearless. The Machiavellian execution, chess not checkers. Robert Greene's law, 4 states, always say less than necessary. When you are trying to command a room or secure a boardroom, the power of your presence is directly tied to the scarcity of your words. The more you speak, the more common you appear, and the higher the probability that you will say something foolish that surrenders your leverage. When you speak less, your words take on the weight of an executive decree. You do not negotiate for respect. Your complete emotional detachment forces the environment to adapt to you. If you are building your path to invisible wealth and absolute control from your laptop and your devices, right now your confidence must be completely decoupled from their awareness. Let them think you are playing a small game. Let them assume you are just getting by. While they are celebrating their loud temporary checkmates, you are quietly repositioning your pieces to control the entire board for the next 40 winters. Segment 3. Target clearance, defeating local envy and the predatory system. The strategic reality. The men who desire your position will never attack you openly. They will not challenge your intellect reason by reason. They will strike at your emotions, use your pride against you, and wait for you to flash your rewards so they can recruit the herd to drag you down. The greatest threat to a rising sovereign does not come from a distant corporate rival or an abstract system. It comes from the immediate circle. It comes from the people who breathe the same air in your workplace, the individuals who see you every day on your devices, and the small minds who track your progression with quiet resentment. This is the law of local envy. Niccolò Machiavelli warned that human beings are naturally ungrateful, fickle, and deceptive. When you are average, they tolerate you. The moment they perceive a shift in your energy, the moment you start speaking with the unyielding authority of a master, their survival instinct interprets your growth as a threat to their position. If you display your ambition, you paint a massive red target on your chest. You hand the predators the blueprint to sabotage your operation before it even reaches maturity. Unbreakable confidence does not combat local envy with loud confrontations or defensive arguments. It clears the target entirely through the supreme application of Black Pawn, the law of artificial vulnerability. Sun Tzu instructed that when you are strong, you must appear weak. To neutralize the predators around you, you must master the art of artificial vulnerability. You do not walk through your daily life looking like a perfect, untouchable fortress that invites collective hostility. Instead, you deliberately throw them a bone. You complain about minor, meaningless difficulties. You let them see you struggle with something insignificant. You allow them to feel intellectually superior to you in casual conversations. The weak man needs to win every micro argument at the table to satisfy his fragile ego. He leaves the meeting feeling proud, but he leaves a trail of enemies behind him. The strategist loses the battle of small talk to win the war of absolute positioning. You agree with their superficial opinions. You nod at their basic advice. You let them believe they have accurately calculated your limits. By feeding their arrogance, you completely blind their radar. A predator does not hunt an animal it believes is already broken or average. While they are busy looking down on your artificial mask, your real target remains completely hidden, undisturbed, and accelerating in absolute security. The independent dictum, emotional insulation. Friedrich Nietzsche defined power as the degree to which an individual can stand completely isolated against the pressure of the herd without flinching. The crowd operates on emotional contagion. They use shame, gossip, and social isolation to force the sovereign individual back down into the dirt with them. If your confidence can be broken by a cold look from a colleague, a piece of workplace gossip, or a lack of local engagement on your digital channels, you are still a prisoner of the system. A Sigma mind builds a thick layer of emotional insulation. When a predator attempts to provoke you, you do not react with anger because anger is a confession that they have pierced your armor. You look at their manipulation with the cold, analytical detachment of a scientist observing data under a microscope. You see their hidden motives. You map their insecurities. You realize that their attack is not a reflection of your worth, but a desperate reaction to their own insignificance. Your confidence is entirely decentralized. It does not exist on their servers. It cannot be deleted by their opinions. It is locked inside a high security vault that only your discipline can access. You move through the building like a phantom, completely aware of every political current, yet completely untouched by the tide. Segment 4. The 40-year sovereign execution, the endless conclusion. The final law. Time is either your greatest executioner or your ultimate fortress. The herd lives for the immediate sensation of the week, the instant view, the quick paycheck, the fleeting praise. But the architect plays a 40-year game of unyielding positioning. Most men collapse before the finish line because they possess zero strategic endurance. They can fake confidence for a day, a week, or a month. They can put on a bold face during a boardroom meeting, try to walk like a king for a brief season, or speak with authority when things are going perfectly. But the moment the initial motivation fades, the moment the numbers remain low, or the moment the quiet, heavy friction of daily life sets in, they bend. They slip right back into their old broken patterns of seeking comfort, begging for immediate attention, and looking for validation from the exact same people who want to see them fail. They fail because they treat confidence as a performance. They treat power as a temporary costume to wear only when the lights are bright and the crowd is cheering. True, unbreakable confidence is a lifelong commitment to absolute self-mastery. It is an internal state of being that remains entirely independent of what your immediate environment looks like. It does not matter if your project is moving through a slow algorithmic valley, or if the people around you fail to appreciate your hidden depth, or if your daily execution feels invisible. You do not compromise the system. system, you do not lower your standards. You stay completely insulated, keeping your head down, mastering your tools, sharpening your mind, and executing your blueprints in total privacy, day after day, month after month, year after year. Black Pawn, the separation of the assets. As you ascend to the peak of this masterclass, you must finalize the permanent structural separation of your entire life. To move with absolute control, you must know exactly where your shield ends and where your sword begins. You cannot allow these two worlds to mix. The shield, your public-facing identity. You walk through the physical world as a highly professional, polite, and calculated independent operator. You present a clean, organized, and cooperative face to your local network and your workplace. Let them see an intelligent correspondent and content strategist. Let them believe they understand your boundaries, your ambitions, and your limits. Give them nothing to fear, and give them no reason to target you. The sword, your invisible empire. Behind that clean, respectable mask sits your shadow asset, your high-level philosophy, your global digital fortresses, your long-form monetization machines, and your dark psychological leverage. This side of your life belongs strictly to you and the global audience that consumes your digital property from thousands of miles away. By holding this unbreakable line, you achieve the ultimate Machiavellian balance. You remain completely safe, protected, and highly respected in your local environment, while your invisible wealth and sovereign assets grow undisturbed in the background. The mandate of Midu, Kayz. History does not remember the loud, reactive critics who shouted from the sidelines and wasted their energy begging for attention. It remembers the sovereign minds who looked at the chaos of the world, built a quiet fortress within their own chests, and completely bent reality to their will through strategic patience. When you sit at your desk, when you open your laptop screen, and when you upload your files from your devices, you are not just a creator, you are an architect of power. You do not look at the immediate horizon, you look far ahead into the decades to come. Let the weak fight over temporary applause, empty status, and small local victories. Your focus is permanently locked on absolute sovereignty, hidden leverage, and unshakable inner peace. Master the silence. Guard your intentions with your life. Protect your operational base with unyielding, ruthless discipline. This is the eternal law of the shadow. This is the blueprint of absolute control. This is the definitive path of unbreakable confidence. Sign off on the script, lock it into the system, and execute the play under the definitive banner of Midu, Kayz.